Hey everybody, welcome to Dynamic Range, episode 7. I'm excited about our topic today. And if you're new to this channel, if you're new to this podcast, Dynamic Range is simply a podcast, a conversation between two creatives, two entrepreneurs, to help creatives and entrepreneurs to create, to cultivate, and eventually to conquer. And so if that sounds like something you're into, you're in the right place. So welcome. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Alfredo, who runs a creative production company in Gainesville, Georgia. And it's just always such a joy to have Alfredo on with me to talk through some certain things I'm struggling with, things that have worked for him that haven't worked for me, things that worked for me that haven't worked for him. It's just an awesome sounding board. And welcome, Alfredo, again to Dynamic Range. Thanks for being on,
Yes,
man.
sir. It's a blessing. Like always, episode 7. We're here.
Yes, sir.
So,
Hey, real quick, I was talking with somebody this week, and I was just talking about the podcast, dude, and immediately, man, my energy went from like a 5 to a 10. And just talking about how great this podcast has been for me, selfishly, and how good it's been for my business in the sense of it helps create content just almost, I don't want to sound like one of those guys, but it's almost like content is on autopilot. And
yeah.
A big
You don't know who's watching.
Reason, 100%. You don't know who's watching, but also just having all this content and having our voices for 45 minutes recorded, swirling around, and then a quick segue into our topic today, using and leveraging AI to come up with blog posts, email newsletters, descriptions, titles, thumbnail ideas, all these separate things, all these fresh content ideas are rolled up in these podcast episodes. So we sit down for an hour a week to talk, and all of a sudden I've got content for days. I've got ideas for days. And so I told this guy, I want to encourage all of my clients, maybe if it's not a full podcast, but at least to have some sort of, voice memo for 10 minutes a week or 20 minutes a week, just so that way AI can get to learn your cadence, get to learn your vocabulary, get to learn more about who you are, what you do. That way, when you talk to AI, you can get better information. You can get better output from giving better input. So anyway,
That's good.
Just wanted to share that.
Like I was saying, you'd be surprised who's watching, but also who's being influenced or encouraged. But there was a time, I don't know if you remember, this is what's crazy. AI we used to frown upon it. It used to be a scary thing. We used to, I'm not giving any information to this thing. And now just how much it's enhanced, our creative process. I think, I think we're at a good place with AI. I've never been, too closed off to it. But yeah, I would like to, dive in first. What's your top AI tools that you use?
Yeah, dude.
Because
top
for me,
AI tools.
Yeah. Like for me, I use Claude over ChatGPT. I don't know if you're familiar with Claude AI. Is that the correct term?
I'm familiar with
Claude?
it. I haven't used it though.
Yeah, maybe I just got too familiar with it, but that's my go-to versus ChatGPT.
Okay. What's the reason for that? Because ChatGPT is kind of like the king, right? That's kind of the go-to for everybody. So why switch? Why switch over to Cloud? It's not Cloud.
Claude. Yeah.
Cloud is where all my information lives, as well as AI. So I think we're all in trouble. But Claude, give it to me.
Yeah. No, I'm still learning a lot about Claude, but for me, actually, I don't know do you know Marlon? He's the one that recommended it to me. But
man.
Shout out to Marlon. He knows all the AI tools. But long story short, Claude for me, I think I'm just the kind of person, if ChatGPT is like what everyone's going to, I go left or right or whatever you want to call it. But it talks back to you, I guess. It really, even if you think you're right, just like ChatGPT, I think it's just like another version of ChatGPT. I'm still, again, learning a lot from it, but it is one of those things that it can it helps me think. AI helps me think. It, there's trying to think what other super important tool that I use, because they kind of all
No, let's
coexist.
stop there. Like, AI helps you think, right?
Yeah.
So for me, again, going back to episode 1, what is the most difficult part about any project for me? It's starting. How do I start this project? How do I script it? What ideas do I have? How do I get this project off the ground? And that's a lot of times where I use and leverage AI, is to get me started. So it's not the end all be all. It's not to say I just use AI, copy paste, and the project's done. Obviously in video, like, we're not there yet. But how do I start a project? And then just typing in different prompts to AI, for me it's ChatGPT, really helps give me ideas, and it helps set that foundation of, okay, this is where I want to go. It gives me the roadmap, but I guess I still got to drive the car, right? It's like the old MapQuest back in the day, right? You go to mapquest.com, you type in the beginning address, you type in the destination, and then it prints off directions. And you got to look at your odometer and see, I've been 1.7 miles, I need to turn right, And so,
I mean,
it's like, that's kind of how I use AI.
My father-in-law, he makes fun of me because he basically knows the whole United States without a map. He can go through any road without, and that's fine and all, but I'm gonna use Google Maps because it just makes my life easier. And I think, I mean, AI just, for me, helps me work a bit more efficient. It just enhances whatever thought that I have. But to go back to my top AI tools super quick, so Claude, ChatGPT, we all have that, one of those, right? And then I use Adobe Firefly. That's not my favorite thing right now, but I do use on Photoshop AI, which is what's the actual name for it?
Fill.
Yeah, I use that a lot for just, there's different photos that I just would like a little bit more room, and so I mean, that's powerful in itself. But I think I don't use too much AI, but I do use it on the daily, and it's really those two things. And then I don't know if you want to consider Autopod AI, but
it is 100%.
It helps. It's still my responsibility to take quality control. Just like the other day, I put a 1 hour. There was a 4-camera setup, 1 hour event. I set it up on Autopod, and it saved me an hour and 30 minutes.
Plus.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus. Yeah. But I still, got to review it. Still got to make sure I like the cuts. So.
Yep. Yeah, dude, I feel
that. What about you, man?
And I think
what do you use?
Well, I think too, there's more that you're not really considering in AI because we've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
So the first time I used AI was inside of Adobe in the little text panel, and created a transcript of a video to then create captions, right?
Yeah.
And we use that almost daily, if not daily, to create captions for videos. So that's my first one that a lot of people are just like, oh, that's, because it's so integrated in a workflow now, it's like we don't really recognize, oh, this is AI, and we're actually using it every day. So that's one that I use, is the text feature inside of Premiere.
Do you like it?
Do I like it?
Yeah, like the process of it. If I'm being honest, I don't.
It can be clunky. If I duplicate a timeline, which I do a lot, to keep all the settings, to keep my color grade, to keep, a lot of things the same, it really affects the captions and the transcript for whatever reason. And then I go to right click and retranscribe sequence, and it's grayed out. I'm just like, are you serious? Like, why can't I retranscribe this sequence? Like, this should always be a thing.
Right.
So there's different things, or if you nest a sequence and
that too,
you try to transcribe it, you can't do that. You have to transcribe the original clip, which is fine. But it's like, there's a lot of hiccups and speed bumps in the workflow. But once you get past it, again, it's just like anything else. It's like the tool that you have that's integrated. It may not be the absolute best, but it is the most convenient, and you just kind of work with what you got. Yeah. But I love it till I can do a dynamic search. You know, hey, I know this person said this keyword. I need to find it. So that's been helpful.
It's a little, maybe my flow to that's a little gimmicky, but there's just different ways, right? For me, I always like to pay attention to how quick can I get from point A to point B, especially when there's a lot of deliveries or deliverables. But so my process, I used to use caption on Premiere, but maybe no one does it this way. Maybe they do, but as soon as I'm done, I export it and I actually create I do the captions on CapCut.
CapCut.
Just because, it's a lot faster and a lot more accurate. Maybe it's just because of, I don't know. I've just got used to it that way, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, like you said, I don't like to pass things off to another app or another editing suite. It's just, to me, adds an extra step, and I'd rather just handle it in Premiere, and I'm used to it at this point. So it's kind of like, we'll just get through it. So that's one. That's probably my top AI tool, is the text feature inside of Premiere. Second one we've already talked about. I use ChatGPT a lot. Helps me come up with copy, with content, ideas, thumbnail ideas, title ideas, and I kind of cheat with it. I use the transcript tool from Premiere, so I'll listen to different videos, download those videos, and then throw them into Premiere, and then say, hey, use this idea, use this transcript from this video talking about this topic to help me come up with ideas for titles, thumbnails, XYZ, whatever I need help on. I'll just throw a transcript on from a YouTube video and throw that into ChatGPT to, again, help me to come up with XYZ for solutions. So that's one of the main reasons, or the main ways that I use ChatGPT. The second tool that I've used from pretty much day one is it's got a weird name. It's called Adobe Podcast. And this is not sponsored by Adobe,
right?
Believe it or not. Well, despite the tens of views that we get, it's not sponsored by Adobe. But Adobe Podcast is basically an audio enhancer tool. And I don't know why they don't have this integrated in Premiere already, because that would just be revolutionary.
Point A to point
does
B.
have its own, Premiere does have its own audio enhancer, but it's just not there yet for whatever. And I'm just like, just use the same technology you've got on the browser. Just make a plugin, put it inside Premiere. But that's beside the point. Adobe Podcast is amazing, especially the version 2, where you have 2 different sliders where you can say control the top slider is enhancing the actual vocal track, and the bottom is controlling the background noise. So the AI is able to sense what's an actual voice versus what's background noise. So what I usually do, I upload a file, and then I'll take the background noise to 0, and I'll usually take the enhance to like maybe 5%, nothing much at all.
Yeah.
And so really, what I've used Adobe Podcasts in the past for was just to remove background noise. It's not really to enhance the vocals or to pull vocals out or to make them more prominent. It's more so just to remove that background noise. And so with this version 2, where I can just drag that slider all the way to 0 for background noise, I don't really need to enhance the audio, because then sometimes if you enhance it too much, it gets very robotic-y, compression's really tight, it cuts off words, things like that. So you can tinker with it however you feel is best, but that's how I use Adobe Podcasts.
What's that other audio generator or voiceover generator? You're making me, the more you're just, I realize how much I really actually use AI. I forgot about just even
11 labs.
Yeah, 11 Labs. There you go. I use that as well. So you just opened up my mind some more, because I also use Adobe Podcast AI. So, I mean, we really use AI more than we think. And, you know, for anyone that's watching that maybe is, I think if we're in 2025, to be closed off to AI would be kind of insane, because it's everywhere. Now, what would you say to those that believe AI is taking jobs away? Because, you know, there was a time when self-checkout, even self-checkout alone, right? When that was a fresh thing, everyone was complaining about it, or the majority of people. And so, yeah, what do you say to those that...
That's really hard, because especially in this creative field, it is starting, right? Because like we mentioned, 11 Labs, another tool that I use. 11 Labs, if you don't know, is basically an AI voiceover agent. You can pick from, I mean, thousands of different voices, and you can type in your text saying whatever you need, and then the AI will read that out. And now you can do like a voice to voice, so you can help AI understand inflection points, which was a big thing. Because before, I would spend almost 2 to 3 hours just typing and retyping and regenerating, and it was like, is this worth it? I'd rather pay somebody $500 than, you know, me sit here and waste half of my day to try to get this voiceover to sound real. But anyway, I say all that to say, like, yes, technology will take jobs, unfortunately. But that's just, I mean, look at history. With the advancement of technology, it's always come at a loss of labor.
Yeah.
If you go back to like even like the farming, the agricultural era, right? It's like before you had manual labor where people would go and pick the crops and do all those things, and now like we have huge machines and, you know, these things that take care of that. And so again, it's just like at every stage of technological advancement, there's been a loss of labor. And it's never really been the people who are making the decisions who are getting cut, or the people who are calling the shots, or the thinkers, the people who come up with the ideas that get cut. It's those who are in the manual labor at the front lines of the work, which can be pretty scary.
Yeah.
Right?
That's happening.
That's the majority of us.
That's happening right now in my community here in Gainesville. There's a data center AI something going on. I don't know too much about it, but it's a 2-point-something billion project, and it's going to take a bunch of space. And, you know, all the people on the top are making all these decisions, and they are giving the community the open, you know, the say of, do they want this or not? But I do think, yeah, I mean, you're right about that. Just alone.
But dude, honestly, like just the mindset of like AI is taking jobs, I think needs to be flipped.
Yeah, because it limits us.
Because look at how many jobs AI creates. We just talked about it. Look at how many ideas AI can open. Look at how many businesses AI can start for you, with you, if you leverage it. So for me, it's just like, yes, technology will take the bottom end of the workforce, but if you really want to, if you're really down for it, you can leverage technology, you can leverage AI to build your own business, to build your own brand, to build your own, quote unquote, your own empire, and make it what you want it to be. But as long as you're thinking AI's taking, then yes, that's what it's going to do. But if you flip that switch in your mind, in your belief, saying AI's allowing me, AI's opening doors, AI is going to help me leverage what I already know into what the access that it has to, and I can combine those two, then all of a sudden it's like this perfect storm to help you create and to do your own thing. So yes, again, technology and AI will take jobs, but also it's going to open up a world of possibilities for those who take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think AI still requires human intelligence, no matter how advanced it becomes. There's still someone that has to take quality control. The other day, you're going to laugh about this, but I was on the phone with Domino's, and I usually don't make a complaint. It wasn't a complaint. It was just simply I needed to know where our pizza was, what was taken. It was like Bro. 2 hours. Let me tell you. I find out 20 minutes, 15 minutes into the argument, whatever you want to call it. I'm arguing with AI. It's not even a real person anymore. Snap. And I'm like, that's crazy. But you see, it's I mean, it's everywhere. I just feel like no matter what though, if that AI automatic, voice system, whatever you call it, if that goes out, someone still has to take control over it. If self-checkout, if one of the machines breaks, someone still has to take over it. So I think, yeah, I mean, going back to the applications that we use for AI, there's, I don't know if you heard of this other one, and this is more entertainment, but a lot of people are using it simply for, have you heard of the Sora app? Sora? Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting. It's just another version of TikTok, but now you can actually generate and create real stories, real scenes, real cinematic shots. You can add real characters and it looks identical. But I think, at least for me, I mean, there's certain videos nowadays where I'm like, is this AI? Is this not AI? But at the end of the day, I can still tell. Like there's still, it's still improving. It's still, it's nowhere near.
It'll only get better.
Yeah, it would only get better. But I think you're absolutely correct about just, going back to taking jobs or it's taking from me. It's all about, the perspective. If you sit there and say, I'll never use AI, you're just going to fall behind. That's just the reality.
Yeah. And here's another example. It's not AI related, but it's football related. So welcome to November in the South. And anyway, I'm a Clemson fan, love it or hate it, whatever. My brother went there and grew up in South Carolina, all this stuff. But that's something like with college football, right? They initiated the transfer portal where players all of a sudden could transfer at a moment's notice without any sort of penalty year where they had to sit out for a year. And then the NIL stuff where players can get paid now. And Clemson, their head coach, Dabo Swinney, was notorious for, I'm not doing the transfer portal because I want to be loyal to my players, which I get. That's great. I love that. But with that, without taking transfers for the past six years or so, Clemson has gone from the top program in college football to now they're outside the top 25. Easy, outside the top 25. Because, again, it's like you don't want to adapt. You want to hold on to things so much that you don't adapt to what everybody else is doing and the way society's moving. And there are certain points where you're like, okay, definitely not going to do that. That is like red flag, red flag, red flag. No. Like, obviously, listen to your convictions. Don't do anything that you feel convicted about. But for things like AI, it's just like, all right, we have to adapt. Same with computers when computers first came out. Just like, what are we going to do? Like, all the bankers are going to be gone. All the accountants are going to be gone. It's just like, no, like somebody still has to input the numbers. Somebody still has to go through the data. Somebody still has to make sense of this. And so, like you said, it's just like there always has to be a QC aspect to technology. And I think ultimately, like, we have to adapt to what technology is doing, the way technology is advancing. And so I think we just have to adapt to this new world of AI because it's not going anywhere. Love it or hate it, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And it's just going to be there. So that's just is what it is.
They also who was talking about Clemson? Deshaun Watson, was that the last good player they? Well, I don't know much, so correct me if that's not.
Deshaun's had a little bit of a stumble over the past few years.
Oh yeah.
But yes, man, yeah, they've had a few other players roll through that are doing pretty good in the pros. So, but yeah, he was the one who put Clemson on the map.
Yeah.
In terms of the national side of things. But yeah, man. Yeah.
No, that's good.
Deshaun.
That's good. I going back to another platform, or I guess going back to Premiere or Adobe. Are you using Adobe Firefly?
No, I haven't messed with it at all. But I have used. This was something I was going to mention that sparked it. I was like, when I was talking, I was like, I know there was something else I wanted to talk about. This is it. I used Artlist. So I've used Artlist from day one.
Yeah.
Right. When they came out with Artlist Max is what they called, I think, where they came out with the stock footage stuff, was really cool. And so now Artlist is this huge conglomerate of stock music, stock footage, templates, and now it's a hub for AI. So voiceovers, you can clone your own voice. You can, I think you can clone your own voice in Adobe. And
sound effects as well, right?
You can, yeah, sound effects. You can definitely clone your voice in 11 Labs, and I think you can do it in Artlist as well. But Artlist also has now the generative video. And so I actually used this in a recent project for motion graphics. So a client wanted some pretty complex animations that I'm like, I think I could probably do it, but it would take me a very long time to figure out. So it was like these clouds that were swirling. It was for a music festival down in Florida. So it's like almost like these hurricane clouds are like swirling up top, different colors like purple, blue, and gray, all swirling. And they wanted these clouds to animate in and swirl in. And I'm like, maybe I could figure something out. But what I do, I just exported a PNG of that, uploaded it to Artlist, and said, have the clouds swirl in. And then 3 minutes later, I got my animation.
How good was it?
And then it was solid. I mean, again, it was like I only used it for like a second, right? So it wasn't like I was dependent upon this animation to carry the entire 10-second motion graphic.
Right.
But it was like this element that I needed that honestly would have taken me a very, very long time to figure out, and then also to be able to make it look believable. And I just used AI, and boom, 3 minutes later it was there, and it was totally believable. And then another one, same client, they wanted it was a beach scene, and they wanted the waves to roll on, waves to come on and to go on the shore, and then recede and keep like this motion going. And again, I just took a PNG of the bottom half of the image, uploaded it, and it came up with its own AI prompt. And I just said, sure, whatever, just see what it can do. And that was it. Didn't need to do anything else. 3 minutes later,
crazy.
It spit it out, and it was a full 15-second loop of the waves rolling in. Which if I were to try to do that manually, I couldn't do it, for one. But if I were to pay somebody to do that, would have been thousands of dollars for somebody to do that, because it was that level of animation that I was just like, well, I'll give it a shot and see what AI can do. And it saved me. And it honestly saved the client money too, because it saved hours on the project.
Yeah, that's what some people don't realize too. Sometimes there's a budget. So, for example, I uploaded a video on my socials, and people could tell the voiceover was AI. Mm-hmm. People felt like it didn't feel as organic. I opened it to the public. I just simply asked them, what do you think about this project? And so, yeah, some were brutal, but you need those comments. So the majority of the people were like, I could tell this is AI. The client's not going to, care as long as it, the delivery is there. But what people don't realize sometimes, there's a budget. So to hire a voiceover, if the budget's not there, we as creatives have to work around that. We got to figure out how to enhance this at the most that it can. And so, yeah, I mean, sometimes you can tell, but I do think that budget can play a huge role. And that's what, that's all I was wanting to say, that we don't realize how.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I've used AI voiceovers for the past 2 years on the Super Bowl commercials that I've made.
That's crazy. I would never would have known, like, if I'm being real with you.
Yeah. So, because there wasn't a budget for it. And, it depends on the voiceover artist, but, those get pricey, especially, voiceover artists charge based on where the video is going to be delivered to. So if it's just social media, that's one price. If it's a TV commercial, that's a whole nother price. If it's a feature film, that's a whole nother price. So it's like, depending on the level of delivery, the price is going to change. And there simply just wasn't a budget for it. And it needed a voiceover. And so what I do, I leveraged AI to make it happen. And so kind of going back to your point of, like, there are budgets and there's things that we have to do as creatives to work around those budgets. And right now, like, using AI is a huge help. And honestly, what that does is that makes us as creatives look better in the eyes of our clients, because we're able to over deliver. We're able to exceed their expectations with our delivery. It's like, wait, what? How'd you get that voiceover? Wait, what? How'd you do the animation? Oh, it only took you this amount of hours. I thought it was going to take you longer than this. And so then what that does, it creates a reciprocal effect of, like, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to AB Films. I'm going to go back to Crown One to because they execute and they don't waste our money. And again,
they're looking for
this whole loop of, like, okay, I want to keep working with them because the experience is so good, and I want to refer other people, other businesses who need videos, who needs high quality content, to go back to these guys, because they know what they're doing. They take care of us. They're not out here wasting our budget. They're being very efficient with what we've given them. And,
that's good.
Yeah. And one other thing with voiceovers, again, like, I guess that's kind of like the way we use AI the most, because that's been the dominant use of this conversation is voiceovers. I used 11 Labs to clone a voice for another project, and I showed my wife the video, and I paused it. I was like, hey, did you know that this has all been AI? And she looked at me just like, there's no way. I said, yep, this intro, first 30 seconds is a real voice. The next 2 minutes is AI. And she couldn't tell at all. And it saved me on that project. It saved me in another project to where, it was with a big finance company, and they didn't have all their data right on the day of the shoot, but we had to shoot it. And so we had to go back, and instead of going back to flying these people in from Dallas and Nashville, flying them into Chattanooga to go back to this high-end studio to record this voiceover, I just took their sample, threw it in 11 Labs, and said, instead of 84%, I threw in the whole sentence and said 82%. And you couldn't tell on the final video because we had B-roll and charts and things like that rolling over it. But you couldn't tell. And so, again, it saved the client what would have been
thousands,
hours, days, thousands of dollars. I could just do it in seconds. And it came to the point of where the talent on the video, they're like, oh, I'm just going to go record this. We have a high-end microphone here in our office. I'm going to go record it. But listening to what they did in studio versus what they did post and recording to have that pickup was, it was apples and oranges. You could tell it was the same voice, but the environment was different. Their tone was different. Their pacing was different. And so the thing with 11 Labs is I took the sample from the studio. And so it created their voice, their AI voice, from the exact microphone placement, from the exact studio environment, from everything, from the pacing to their tone. It matched perfectly.
That's
and
good.
So that again, saved them so much time and money in the project. And they were able to be confident in moving forward with, okay, I know that if we need to change something, we can. And again,
That's good.
hopefully in the future, it'll say to them, hey, I'm going to record this because it needs to get out now. And although we don't have all the data exactly right, I know that we can fill that in post, fix it in post, which is not what anybody wants to hear, but it does. Again, people need to understand, no matter what level you're working on, there's always going to be time constraints and there's always going to be budget constraints. And you have to work within those. And sometimes you just got to hit record, you got to do it, and then you got to fix it in post. And that's what AI is really crucial for me today.
Yeah, I think lastly, I want to say any of my clients have, I think only one, if I'm being honest, but 99% of my clients have never messaged me after sending them the delivery, sending them the video, the revision. Never once have they said, is this AI?
Mm-hmm.
Can you, the only person that mentioned that they were a bit more, knowledgeable about AI, but also sometimes the request can be, hey, I don't want AI voiceover. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to be able to pay,
Mm-hmm.
A real voice, a human. Because here's the thing. Voiceovers, a lot what I hear is taking a lot of their gigs, because now people are not wanting to pay $500, $600, $700, $1,000 for a 30-second commercial. Where am I going with this? I forgot. Let me see. Where was I going with
Were you
this?
talking about like taking jobs and things of that nature?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that like a client is yeah, that's what it was. Like never have once questioned if this is AI, but only one client did. But the majority has they're so they don't care about that. They're focused on results. How quick can you get me this video? I want to see real results. And so I think I'm trying to figure out as well, for those that do voiceover, what justifies 1,000 for a voiceover? What justifies 1,500? I don't know too much about that. I don't know if you, besides like having a high quality mic and a high quality voice.
Yep.
Maybe that answers my question.
Well, it's not just the equipment, and it's not just the talent, but it's also the delivery and the emotion behind it. Are you able to deliver on a certain emotion? Are you able to read a script, talk to the client, and then hit it, take one? To where the editor or the client is not coming back to you saying, all right, that was good, but can you do this? Can you do that? Can you, and having those multiple revisions. And so again, like in everything, speed is king. And if you're able to deliver high quality and hit the emotion on the head on the first take, or maybe the second take, then it's just like, dude, it's a no-brainer. Again, going back to my AI voiceover thing, it's just like, man, I could have paid somebody to do this instead of me just sitting here just like typing in and trying to get different inflections. I should have just hired this out. But two, I think with voiceover artists, they've already kind of been through this with the advent of like Fiverr.
Yeah.
Right. Because there were a lot of cheap $5 voiceovers that were going out on the air. And I think it's the same for any industry. It's like if you're really good, people are going to pay for your service or your product. If you're really great at what you do, right, people can feel the difference. Clients can feel the difference. And so I think that's what it is. Like if you're great, you're going to stand out no matter what technology advances. Some people are going to actually see that, and They might even pay more because they know it's real.
That's good. Yeah. You stand out and it's saturated. Yeah. You're right about that. I think it is, to that degree, it is hurting some jobs in that way, if I'm being honest. Just like the cheaper gigs, the $5 gigs, but at the same time, if it's really in you, and if you're if you're, what's the word, not just your talent, but help me out, I'm trying to figure out the words. Dang it, man. Sorry, you could cut this out.
Your talent, if it's not your talent, it's your delivery, it's your skills, it's the soft skills, the speed. I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah. In other words, if you have the sauce, I don't know. I lost it. But
if you got
point
the sauce,
is, people will find you. People will remember you, and
100%.
There's a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a feeling, and there's definitely a human element to it. And I think too, this is where a lot of the creatives who don't have the passion and don't have the drive and don't have the chops to move forward, I think this is kind of like the cliff where a lot of people just kind of like, I tried it and it's not working. All right, I tried content creation, I tried video editing, I tried voiceover, I tried it, and I just can't keep up anymore. And so I think this is kind of like where the water and the oil kind of separate, Yeah. This is the point in the next probably 2 to 3 years where you're going to see a lot of people just kind of rise, and a lot more people just kind of like, all right, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to pack up my bags. I'm going to go. And so for me, like, I find that exciting because I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to like take that rise, to take the next step. And again, to have that human touch that people will pay for even more now, because again, it's like the old saying of, how does a banker, how does somebody in the FBI know what's counterfeit versus what's real, and when it comes to money? And it's not like they study all the different counterfeit techniques and counterfeit things, because those are always changing, those are always tweaking. But it's like, no, they study the real thing. They study the real bills, and they immediately able to know, okay, this counterfeit is not real because it doesn't have the certain texture, it doesn't have the certain watermark, it doesn't have this feel to it that even though I can't explain it, I know what the real thing feels like, and this ain't it. And so again, I think in the next few years, we're going to start to really see that, okay, this is real, because we know what real looks like, because we've lived in the real world for our whole lives. And now with this AI, quote unquote, counterfeit kind of rising up, okay, now I know what's real versus what's counterfeit. And
you got to have the ability to discern, what feels organic and what doesn't, because there's now a bunch of clients that I've ran into. It is what it is, but it's happened before where I know they're looking for multiple quotes, and the majority of the quotes that they look for are on the lower end. And I could sit here and say, oh, it's hurting us as videographers, it's hurting us as creatives, because now there's an expectation or a certain standard. A lot of clients believe, even in real estate, right? In real estate videography. But I'm paying, this much amount. I don't know. Can you help me justify your pricing when most of the people that I've, gotten quotes from are charging me this? It is what it is. All it comes to tell me is we're not fit for that, we're not fit for this project, and that's okay. But it doesn't scare me knowing that a bunch of people are quoting, such a low end price, because, I know people are wanting to get those opportunities. So so many are just,
Yeah.
hey, I'll do it for 200. I'll continue to feed into those clients that, we all just, there's what's the word? There's I wouldn't say there's levels to it, but it's okay if it's not the fit. It's okay if it's not the fit.
That's fine.
If
If you're trying to please everybody, you're gonna drive yourself insane, and you're not gonna please anybody.
Yeah. So
if you're trying to be the perfect fit for everybody, it's not gonna be good, because there's no one size fits all when it comes to business and creatives. So yeah, man. Well, that's it for AI for right now, I think.
For right now.
I don't know if we covered everything. I know we didn't cover everything, but
I know you covered a lot more. I know you executed it flawlessly, like always, Steven. You're inspiring. Everything, every word, I learned a lot from you, in even just an episode like this or a phone call. So I think you did amazing. I think I'm still becoming more familiar with AI on a technical or practical aspect, but yeah, there's no limits to it, so there's still so much to unfold, uncover, and so nah, man, kudos to you. You did great.
I appreciate it. Hey, and if y'all are still listening at the end, congratulations. I'm going to drop this little secret. There's a guy named Dan Martell on YouTube. Phenomenal business owner. He started so many different AI companies, but he has so many great free YouTube videos about AI and how to leverage AI for your business or for your creativity. Go check him out, because it is an absolute game changer, the way that he talks and uses AI on the daily. And check him out. That's a free plug for those who stayed in the end. And again, hey, if you're here, welcome to the end. Awesome that you're here. Thank you for watching Dynamic Range and being with us. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and follow us on the podcast platform that you may be listening to. Leave a review, drop a comment, do all those things that really help us. And if you like this setup, it looks pretty sweet, right? Sounds pretty good. If you like this setup, I've got this whole gear list on a PDF ready for you. Go click the link in the description below to steal my setup. Not to steal it. You can't steal it. You can't come into the studio and steal my setup, but you can get all the equipment, the same equipment that I have, because gear does matter. But if you're just starting, maybe you just sit on your phone and just hit record and get rolling. Grab a friend and say, let's get a podcast rolling. But if you want to level up, if you want to upgrade, I've got all the whole gear list is ready for you. So, Fredo, thanks for hopping on, man. Love you, bro. I'm going to call you on the way back from dropping off the kids to school, because we need some time, bro.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yes, sir.
It's a privilege. It's a blessing. Love you too, bro. And thank you for this time as well. Your investment to this goes a long way.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. Hey, this is a real thing. This isn't AI. So it will be edited on AI, though. So stay tuned for the next episode. All right. Peace.
Peace. We're real people.